Hello Internet, and welcome to this my video of American laws. Because once again, very soon, I will be leaving for the promised nation, my second home, the United States of America. And so as to not be arrested as a suspicious individual, I have decided to research what is allowed and what is not allowed. And in my research, I have come across some stupid laws that I might just feel like I want to tell you about. Specifically, I have focused on the states of some of my friends, so those friends as well can make sure that they don't get into trouble before I have a chance to see them. So Jeff Holiday, Madwoman Muses, Martius Filius, Lexi Madison, Wild Tanuki, Based Mama, Subconscious Devils, Gentile, Hack Job, and Zombie Chicks. These are for you. Enjoy. Start in one of my favorite western states, namely Oregon, a state beautiful and amazing to drive through, and again, a place, go visit it if you're on a road trip. However, remember that in Oregon it is illegal to place a container filled with human fecal matter on the side of any highway. So when you filled your container with fecal matter, remember guys, move to the smaller by road before you push it out of the car. While we're there, however, a door on a car may not be left open longer than is necessary. So remember, just push out the fecal matter and then close the door again quickly before things happen. Oh, and Jeff, this might be for you in memory, because I just want to point out to you that it is illegal to whisper dirty things in your lover's ear during sex. Just remember that. It is also illegal to use canned corn for bait when fishing, and it is illegal to walk down a sidewalk and knock a snake's head off with your cane. So leave your cane at home when you go to the bars out there, Jeff. And also, of course, if you get too drunk, remember that you cannot eat a donut and walk backwards on any city street in Eugene and Portland. So yeah, be careful, my friend. Be careful. Moving to Georgia and my friend the Madwoman, I would like to point out, just in case you guys are into anything weird, that the term sadomasochistic abuse is, amongst other things, defined as a person handcuffing another person while dressed in a clown suit. So, be careful in your private life down there. Also remember, you're not actually allowed to keep your donkey in your bathtub, and you may not carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket if so far as it is Sunday. So remember to take it out of your back pocket when Saturday evening comes around. Also remember that all citizens must own a rake, so you might as well, start a garden immediately. And just in case you want to start doing all sorts of weird gambling stuff, you are not allowed to give away goldfish to entice anyone into a game of bingo. Be careful, Madwoman. This is, I don't want to see you behind bars for giving away goldfish. Going further into Illinois, I would like to point out to my friends there that if you're under 21, you should remember that you can drink legally, but only so far as you are enrolled in a culinary program in order to do so. So yeah, start to become a cook, guys. And on the way to the culinary program, remember that you may be arrested for vagrancy if you do not have at least $1 bill on your person. Those credit cards are a newfangled invention that we don't like in Illinois. Oh yeah, and again, going to the culinary program, you must remember that you must stop and inform the police before you enter any city in an automobile, and you may not speak the English language in Illinois. So, learn your French, people, learn your French. Also, guys, this is for you, in case you start having weird ideas. Remember, you may do all sorts of weird things with your neighbor, but you're not allowed to pee in his mouth. And insofar as you get out to the Great Lakes, I would like to remind you all that it is forbidden to fish while sitting on the neck of a giraffe. So yeah, get your camel instead when you go on a fishing trip, guys. Remember that. Going into Massachusetts, Lexi, this is for you. Remember that if you have family members who die and you go to a wake, you're not actually allowed to eat more than 3 sandwiches there. Don't say Massachusetts don't think about your weight. Also, remember, considering how much you're sleeping these days, that snoring is prohibited unless all bedroom windows are closed and securely locked. So no fresh air if you have a tendency to that. Oh, and particularly, Lexi, be aware that Quakers and witches are disallowed in the state of Massachusetts. Oh yeah, and again, I don't want to peek into your affairs, but a woman cannot be on top in sexual activities, and you need to remember going to your boyfriend's work that no gorilla is allowed in the back seat of any car. Poor Harambe, no trip for him. It is also illegal to play the fiddle, and Lexi, when I visit you, please keep an extra shotgun, since no one is allowed to cross the Boston Commons without one in case of bear attack. So yeah, we will have fun, I think. Moving into the glorious and very civilized state of West Virginia, so Tanuki and to a certain degree Mama, this is for you. I would like to remind you that if you were to visit your ancestral homelands, it is illegal to whistle while underwater. It is, however, Tanuki, it is legal for a male to have sex with any animal as long as it does not exceed 40 pounds. So, keep those livestock slim, West Virginia farmers. It is also to be remembered that any act of public swearing shall cost you $1, so bring some bills. And firemen may not whistle or flirt at any women passing a firehouse. So move out of the firehouse, firemen, if you want to catcall people. Oh yeah, in case, Tanuki, you want to take off your marriage business on the road, no member of the clergy is allowed to tell jokes or humorous stories from the pulpit during a church service. And to all my friends who wish to bring their pets, nowhere in West Virginia is it allowed to walk a lion, a tiger, a leopard on the public streets, even if they are leashed. So keep those kitties at home, people. Keep the kitties at home. Jen, my dear friend Jen, we are now coming to Iowa, and I want to keep you and your husband out of trouble. So first of all, allow me to remind you that a man with a mustache must never kiss a woman in public. So make sure hubby is well shaved before you go out. Also, while we're on the subject, remember that kisses may last for no longer than 5 minutes, so do come up for air sometimes. While this might not directly refer to you guys, I would also like to point out that any one-armed piano player must perform for free, so don't ever pay them. Oh yeah, and reminder, if you set your house on fire, the fire department is required to practice firefighting for 15 minutes before attending to any fires, so you might want to form your own bucket brigade just in case. Oh yeah, and while we're on that particular subject, remember that it's illegal for horses to eat fire hydrants, so remember to feed your horses well before going into town. And while into town, remember that within city limits in Ottumwa, it is illegal for a man to wink at any woman he does not know. Keep those eyes steady, gentlemen. Keep them steady. Wisconsin, land of the cheeseheads. And my friend there knows who they are. And since we are in the land of cheese, allow me to point out that while any kind of cheese making naturally requires a license, if you want to make Limburger cheese, you require a master chief maker's license. No ordinary cheesemakers make Limburger. Also, it is illegal to cut a woman's hair, so I have to assume all of them are fairly, long-haired. And also, you're not allowed to worry a squirrel. I'm always happy that any state deals with the, mental issues of small furry animals, but no, I'm not sure how you know whether or not you have worried it or not. Also, whenever two trains meet at an intersection of said tracks, neither shall proceed until the other one has. If anyone can explain to me how that works, I would be very much happy and very obliged to you. So if you can't go on with the train, you might of course want to jump on your horse, or for that matter, in a car. And for that, I would remind you to get both of them at the same time, since an old ordinance in Wisconsin forbids any car parking for over 2 hours unless a horse is tied to the car. And oh yeah, again, to my friend there, considering how you like to present yourself, if one is thought of as offensive looking, it is illegal for him and her to be in public during the day. Stay inside. Moving to California, the Sunshine State. Again, my friends there know who they are, and at least I can assure you that in California, by state law, sunshine is guaranteed to the masses, which is perhaps a bit more free from the state than breads and circuses, but it is very nice. However, if you use that sunshine to go to the beach in Los Angeles, I want to remind you that you can only throw a frisbee around if you get the lifeguard's permission first. Also, going there, I would like to point out that women may not drive a car while wearing a house coat. Also, if so far as you have pets, and I know some of you like animals, I would like to remind you that don't breed them if you live too close to a tavern, a school, or a place of worship, because no animals can mate within 1,500 feet of those places. And, staying with the animals, reminder that peacocks have a right of way to cross any streets, including driveways. Also, should you get a foul taste in your mouth, I would like to remind you that it is illegal to spit unless you happen to be on a baseball diamond. And probably my favorite law in the United States, in the small town of Chico, I would like to remind you that there is a $500 fine for detonating a nuclear device within city limits. Now, I know a lot of you wishes to detonate nuclear devices around Chico, but I'd just like to remind you, 500 might be a steep price for a momentary pleasure. Kentucky. Tanuki, my friend, we are in Kentucky. And for a state where you live, this is actually surprisingly sane. I would like to remind you, however, if you have any inclination to that you are not allowed to dye a duckling blue and offer it for sale unless you sell more than 6 at any time. So perhaps consider painting the duckling yellow instead. Also, when you go out for fishing, I remind you to bring your shotgun, as while that might be legal, it is illegal to fish in Kentucky with a bow and arrow. Also, you are safe in your cars and dogs may not molest cars, whatever that might mean. I would remind you, however, that it is not illegal to give anal sex to others. It is, however, illegal to receive it. However, Kentucky does give you a fair bit of chance to save money, since no woman may buy a hat without her husband's permission. So yeah, good savings, good savings. And finally, and most importantly perhaps, since this is the state I will be visiting, Arizona. Subby and Mama, these are for you. So remember, when I'm there and we go out for fun, it is not legal to hunt camels. So wherever you take me shooting, remember that we have to go hunting giraffes and not camels out in the desert. Also, I would like to remind you that if you want to keep me there by having me put in jail, any misdemeanor committed while wearing a red mask is considered a felony, and it is also illegal to manufacture imitation cocaine. Stick to the real deal, people. Stick to the real deal. It is always better. Also, while this not might be a problem for me since I'm visiting, I would like to remind you all that no one is allowed to have more than 2 dildos in a house. And Mama, this is really sad for us because I know this totally wrecks our trip, but cards may not be played in the street with a Native American. Also, Arizona has a decree that declares that anyone caught stealing soap must wash himself with said soap until it's all used up. We might not prefer to have criminals here, but if we find them, at least we ensure that they are very, very clean. Also, go to the dentist, people, since it is illegal for men and women over the age of 18 to have more than one missing tooth when smiling. And Mama, again, I think we need to have a trip to Tucson because there it is illegal for women to wear pants. So that might be good. Well, that was it. This was some laws in America that I feel like everyone should be aware of so they don't, break them by mistake. Again, I would consider some of them possibly reasonable. Some of them is perhaps a bit dumb. Maybe. But again, who am I to judge a country that is not mine? Well, at least I hope this informed, enlightened, and entertained you. And until I see you next time, I have been the Sage, and I wish you all a very happy day.